Didn't take long for an unnamed coach to slag on a player coming out of the combine. And, if knowing Dion and the Sanders family as long as I have, you could have pegged Shedeur as being, in those figurative crosshairs, Daniel, and not to drag you in a mosh pit here.
Yeah.
But the conversation about him being brash, arrogant, or not as involved in certain conversations and in meeting rooms with teams. What did you hear about that? Anything you want to chime in on this front, Daniel?
Yeah, I didn't hear anything in that way. The thing I heard from teams that met with him at the East-West, because he was at the East-West game, and a lot of teams got a chance to visit with him. Everybody that I talked to that visited with him there enjoyed being around him, and said he had a good energy about him. Obviously, he's confident in who he is, what he's accomplished, and I'd rather not have to instill confidence in my quarterback. I'll put it that way. So I have no problem with that. The teams I talked to that had talked to him there didn't really have any issues there. So I haven't talked to anybody that interviewed him at this combine, recently to get any feedback. But
Right.
that was all the stuff that I had from when he was in Dallas at the East-West.
So then let's stick to the tape then. If you're hearing somebody say they don't even have him in the first round, would you agree that he's even borderline on that front, or you would disagree with that assessment, Daniel?
I think this is the statement, and I've talked about this all through the combine, about this being a starters, not stars draft, right? So there's certain players you can say, we can drop them in any of the 32 buildings and they'll be fine. We've had years like that. I think those top three quarterbacks we had last year, Rich, I had big grades on those guys, and I thought, they're going to be able to make it work no matter what offensive system you want to run, no matter what environment that you're in. I thought those were kind of universal talents. I don't think this year it's the case. That's why I've said fit is more important. So it doesn't surprise me. And it's not just like Shedeur. It's going to be other players at other positions. This is a fit draft. This is finding guys that fit what you do. Shedeur fits certain teams and certain offenses and certain environments. I think he's got a chance to be a successful starter. But there's going to be other places where you might say, yeah, you know what, he doesn't, he's not physical enough. Doesn't have maybe the arm or the physicality to play in, the Cleveland would be an interesting one with him. In the AFC North, it's kind of a rugged division. So, I could see, okay, maybe somebody from there wouldn't be as high on him as they would on someone like Cam Ward, who's just got a little more, he's got a little more life on the ball, a little more power. So, that's what I'm getting at is I don't read too much into it when some team says we don't have him as a first rounder. Well, he doesn't fit what you do. So that doesn't mean he's not a great fit for 3 or 4 other teams.
So then let's look at the top of the draft. Which one do you think is the best fit for Shedeur that you think is quarterback needy?
The two teams that I like just in terms of stylistically,
Yep.
I like the Raiders at 6. And I like the Saints at 9.
Why?
Like just in terms of how, first of all, they both play indoors, which I love. He does not have to have a huge arm. It's timing, it's accuracy, it's precision. You look at the Saints inside that division, who they're playing, where they're playing. I think that works. I think Kellen Moore. Everybody looks at what he did last year. Kellen Moore is always going to morph around who he has and what he has. I think if you look at what he did in Dallas with Dak in the past game, I think you could do a lot of those things with kind of a pure passer like Shedeur. And Kellen Moore, his whole career was as a player was anticipation, accuracy, efficiency. So I could see him appreciating the strengths of Shedeur.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.